next door the next day.
So I agree with what you're saying, but within the context of guided reading, they do have the same book for 3 days.
So
this is guided reading.
Yeah. But those books are they doing the same thing that we're doing?
So,
because those books are like way beyond like.
I don't know what state she teaches in, but context of this lady is that she's a reading specialist. I want to say in New York, but I could be wrong. And she comes in and she does guided reading in text sets. And this is actually a text set. This is actually a really, really complex text that's really rich and heavy. And what she does is she uses guided reading to set up her text sets. So the background that I was given was that she thinks about what skills they're going to need to tackle these really complex high-level texts, and then she applies the skill to still a somewhat complex text. Like a C or D reader would be on an F or G for guided reading, and teaches them the skills within a guided reading a little easier, like nonfiction context, so that when they get to like the 3rd or 4th grade level text for text sets, those habits are already there, they're already built in, they're already natural. So when she chooses her guided reading books, they're not just guided reading books, they're guided reading books to supplement text sets. And so if she knows text sets is going to be on baseball, maybe she'll choose a nonfiction baseball text.
But the language in the C reader versus the, what did you say, all the way to G?
I said, yeah, C or D would go up to like...
Think about those words versus those words.
Well, and so it's also like a catch-22 because we're still teaching them to read while we're trying to teach them these habits. So the guided reading part is to teach them the decoding skills and the habits of discussion skills. And then the text sets is to apply the habits of discussion skills. Yeah. And if you, like in my head, I'm thinking about it, skills is where they're learning phonics, guided reading is where they're applying phonics, right? And then they're learning habits of discussion skills in guided reading, and they're applying it in text sets. So there's numerous touches on the same skill. It's convoluted, but it does all kind of wrap back around in a cycle. I think your question. I think it's a good question.
Just like today, Amaro, when we did the text set on the chocolate tree, and I brought up maize. He's like, I know that from this morning. Yes, thank you. Like say maize, don't say corn. Like let's get in the habit of maize because that's what we're talking about.
And when you have a topic that's reoccurring, it just makes it so much easier for the kids to grasp on. Like they love writing about what we're talking about, and that she does text sets right after the KLA. It works well. But now it would also have to be because I do guided reading and she does text sets. So now it's me thinking about what text set is she on. So let me choose a similar topic and look at what skills she's teaching, so I can align myself to what she's teaching.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, for you guys, it might just be, let me go up 1 or 2 levels on my guided reading books. And let me start there. And then maybe try to build in the habits with that. If text sets is just a little too much, just start with that little shift. And then if that shift goes really smoothly, then maybe you'll go see, what text set book are we on right now? And let me choose a worksheet and see how this goes, and just test out the waters and slowly build it up.
How do they respond to the text sets? Are they into it?
They don't do it.
Yeah, we're not doing the text sets.
But Lampkins does just sight words. So it's kind of like, it's a catch-22.
Yeah.
They just chose to go a different route.
Because they're not getting our entire class, with the exception of the high group.
Yeah.
Just because they're high.
How many highs do y'all have?
6.
Yeah. So the rest of the group, they're just not studying them at home. So it's like.
Oh wait, no, I lied. 12, because A and B are the high groups, right?
Yeah. So when they come to me after she has them for guided reading, they come to me. I just hit the sight words.
Yeah. So she does them every day, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I do. So they still get the same thing, but I do 10 minutes of sight words Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then the last 7 minutes are back to the book. So they're still getting their book.
Yeah. This might sound really silly, but in my head, when you guys were talking about how you do centers, I was thinking, what if when Lampkins is doing these flashes, she's introducing these habits. Like, Milan, what is this word? Milan says the word. And then Kevin says, I agree with Milan's word. Or Kevin says, I disagree with Milan's word because that's just them simply getting those sentence starters in, and it's a second touch. And then when they go to Ayala, and Ayala does a C instead of a B with them, it's more natural for her to push them towards that. And you could even like have like little cards in front of them, lampkins that have that, and say, okay, Milan, if you agree, this is what you need to say, something along those lines.
That's good that you said that, because today I posted just the drill and kill. I wrote them all out and I just put them down. And so we went around, show me the word the, pick up the word the and spell it, the, T-H-E. So now I'll say, do you guys agree? And if you agree, say, I agree.
Exactly. And then you sit there and you get them, you slowly build them up. So Milan picks up the word, you say, pick up the word the, Milan picks it up. And then you make a simple gesture, and then they raise their hand. You choose a person. You're not talking.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that smooth,
Right?
That could be your end goal, to build up to like. Someone says the word, student raises their hand. You point to the student. They say their sentence starter.
That was a great idea.
Okay.
Thanks. And for us, it's just aligning on my guided reading text sets. Yeah.
What did you read today?
They're so different. Today we read The Changing of Seasons with Orange. Anyway, so second watch, student actions. What did the students do? Is there a name for what the students did? And this is the hard one. How does it connect to Common Core? So all of that is a lot, but there's a reason we're doing this. And if we don't have that big picture of why we're doing this, then there's no point in for us doing this. So.
Well, I know we gotta watch.
No, well, let's see your comment.
When the one student, the one with the glasses, he said, one of them said, he began to explain his answer, and he said, I know because. Like, she didn't even have to ask him. We're used to, how do you know that? He knew that he had to support his answer and use the language, I know because.
Exactly.
And that's because his answer came directly from the text.
Yep. And so I think big pictures knew, when they go up to Fairfax, they have to do rates, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we're getting them to talk this way, it's going to be much easier for them to write this way. So think about some of the sentence stems and how that maybe relates to race and citing evidence and all of that type of stuff.
Okay.
So students are the focus, which will be easy because they are.
Was Kobe loving baseball? Why? I thought the main idea was that because if the title is baseball and the first sentence it says Kobe loves baseball, then the main idea is Kobe loving baseball.
I'm gonna stop because there was 30 seconds of just students doing something, so I'm gonna stop and jot just what I saw. He's so cute.
Such a moron. I'm writing everything in that little box. Turn the page.
Start while you wrap up ideas.
Because it says he loves baseball.
All right. What do you have to say to them?
I have to say that he is right because it talked about Kobe playing baseball and all throughout the story and he loves to play baseball with his mother. Is that the main idea of the story? Is that all of the parts? Yes, because it's all throughout the story. It talks about Kobe loves baseball. That's why the person says.
Stop right there. What evidence do you have? Is the story entry mostly about Kobe playing catch with his mom at the park?
No, it's playing baseball. The main idea.
Oh, wait, what did she do? She had emotions.
Because he started talking,
Yeah,
he
she
didn't
did
raise his
stop.
hand.
Oh, she did stop. Oh, okay. I didn't get that motion. Okay.
Kobe playing catch with his mom at the park.
No, it's playing baseball.
Okay.
The main idea is Kobe loving baseball. I know that because Kobe watches it on TV and he plays that every set and he on a baseball team. So that tells me that he is really loves baseball.
Excellent.
How much time do you guys want to write? 2?
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Didn't rely on background knowledge. Gave it from the text.
I feel like we'll have a lot to talk about. Lampkins, what's one thing you saw a student do?
I saw him as he was explaining the first student. He pointed to the title.
Yep.
And then it looks like he pointed to, as he was speaking, he was referencing his first 2 sentences or something.
Yep.
But his hand motions let you know that he was going back to where his information was.
Yep. And so you said it. That's called.
Getting the information directly from the text and not relying on background
Citing
knowledge.
text evidence.
Citing text evidence.
Yep.
There you go. Hello.
And I see that you have it written. What's the Common Core connection?
The race.
Yeah, absolutely. The hardest part of race.
Yeah.
Yep. Citing that evidence. Today, I gave my kids a skill page from the reader, and after they had read it, they had to put what page they found the answer, and they were like, "What's this page for?" And I was like, I was like, it's a good habit when
Yeah.
you give an answer to tell me what page
Yeah.
it's on and exactly where you found it. And they're like, oh.
Yeah, Jonathan and I had like started that after spring break. We heard that we had, I don't know, at a PD they were doing it. So it was like, write the page number down.
Yeah.
Especially we started it from the readers.
Yep, the
That
readers
they-
are such an easy one. Like,
Yeah.
and I was like, where did you find this answer? Point to it. And she was like, I don't know. And I was like, well then reread.
Yeah.
You gotta reread
Yeah.
until you can point. Like, and then she's like, right here. And I was like, what page? And she was like,
Because
oh,
Donovan
page
and them struggled with that. As the readers got harder, they were just writing, no, show us the page number. Where did you get it? And so as we made them go back and read, like,
Yeah.
write the page number down,
Yeah.
underline it, there it is.
Perfect. Pettis was another one that you saw. So we saw him point to the title, and that was citing text evidence. It's okay if it's the same skill. Is there a different
Yes,
place?
basically. I said provided knowledge of the answer by citing what he read previously in the text. He referred back to the title as well as the first sentence.
Yeah. I thought, Isla, did you have any that are different? You said it. So one that stuck out to me was the kid with the glasses said, I know because.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really big one because that's none that I have up here. But like, I know X, Y, and Z because X, Y, and Z. And he said, I know because, and then he gave 2 reasons afterwards. Like, it wasn't just like, I pointed to this, I know this because of X, Y, and Z. And I think that's also sometimes a really hard skill for kids to explain their reasoning behind why they're saying something, because we know it's right and they know it's right, but can they tell me why it's right? So I think that's the thinking that needs to go on before they can actually cite or point or any of that. So I think it's a little less tangible, like on paper, but I think in discussion it's really valuable.
Because we're used to, when I first saw that, I was like, how long did it take her to get there with them to say that? Because I know, like, we're saying, how do you know? How do you know? How do you know? But he just knew, they knew to say it. I know because.
Right, sure.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
amazing.
Okay, last one. What are the teacher moves and what is the impact? So this is more focused on what she is doing.
I thought the main idea was Kobe loving baseball. Why? I thought that the main idea was that because if the title is baseball and the first sentence it says Kobe loves baseball, then the main idea is Kobe loving baseball because it says he loves baseball.
All right. What do you have to say to that?
I have to
What's up, T?
I don't know about work.
Okay. I don't have anything for you to do, so why don't you? They're in drama right now. Why don't you go to make sure they're okay in drama? Thank you. What did she say? I just missed it.
What do you have to say to that?
Yes.
I have to say.
Say to them.
I have to say that he is right because it talked about Kobe playing baseball and all throughout the story and he loves to play baseball with his mother. Is that the main idea of the story? Is that all of the parts? Yes, because it's all throughout the story. It talks about Kobe loves baseball. And that's why the first sentence is.
Stop right there. What evidence do you have? Is the story entering mostly about Kobe playing catch with his mom at the park?
No, it's playing baseball. The main idea is Kobe loving baseball. And I know that because Kobe watches it on TV and he plays that every day and he on a baseball team. So that tells me that he is really The baseball.
Excellent.
I'll let teacher move.
I said she was giving starter sentences within a question, which I've noticed we try to do, but they still sometimes don't quite get that you can take your complete sentence that you're trying to give just from hearing what you just stated. So the fact that she was able to say, what do you have to say to that? And the student knew right away, I'm going to start my answer with, I have to say, was just phenomenal to me. And then she allowed the students to use their notes, meaning she didn't say, write this down and let's go from what you know. Write this down. I want you to write it legibly. I want you to write it so you know what you're saying, because when we go over this, you're going to tell me exactly what you know and how you know it, and you're going to be able to use your text, the notes you got from the text, because you're going to answer each question using your own notes. That way I know you have evidence. It's evidence to me that you've read this story and that you understand this story. So, higher order thing.
There you go.
No, I just wrote 10 stars, but then I added with it.
Within a question.
That was good. I like
Yeah. Lincoln's.
I just, the teacher, but I noticed that, you know, her expectation was obviously set in the beginning.
Yeah.
And the silent signals that she used, like those, like when they, you know, when they were getting into it, their hands came out of star, but when they were done, they went right back into star. So, you know, her expectation, she set expectations, she had silent signals, you know, I wrote evidence, but I forgot what I wrote. I wrote something crazy. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I probably heard two things and heard one thing and finished writing, so I missed what I wrote. Are we not on impact? Are we on
Yeah, I was just about to shift to that. What
yeah, so
impact
the impact on that was that they were tracking the speaker and they were listening, and they didn't repeat answers. They build on what their classmates had said because of that expectation. Because of her expectations. Those are the two that I wrote. They were tracking the speaker, they were able to build, and on the classmates' answer.
Okay. Does anybody else have another impact? I don't want to beat it to death, but
I said, by giving them a little start, their ideas can begin to formulate and become bigger as she slightly pushes them with just a few words.
okay. Let's flip. This is a post discussion.
Okay, I remember.
Yeah.
She kept saying the word evidence over, using the evidence. How do you know what's the evidence to the answer? So pretty much letting them know, go back to what you wrote. What you wrote is the evidence of why you're giving me this answer. So it's like in their mind, she's asking for evidence. Let me look at what I wrote so I know exactly how to answer this question. So I think just her repeating evidence over and over again is just a small signal to know, for them to know, check my notes. Let me answer this question the right way, because it's the only way she's going to accept this answer.
Yeah, I agree. Awesome. Okay. I would like, would you guys rather write or would you rather talk? About this last part. Okay.
Talk and jot down notes of things that we hear.
Yeah, of course. That's the perfect compromise. So what does this short story tell us about text selection, Common Core standards, and teaching reading?
Well, I didn't know the background knowledge that you gave us. You said that they, say it again, what about the text? Like, these were text sets. Okay. And that was the reading specialist. Who was she?
Yeah.
And that was a guided reading group.
That was doing a text.
Right.
From off of the CKL lesson that was previously taught.
I don't know about that.
It may not
Yeah,
be CKLA, like, yeah, it could be any
Just text.
Yeah.
curriculum. Well, as far as, I don't know, I'm gonna skip to two. I don't know about the text selection because we don't really see it that much. We couldn't visually see it.
Yeah.
But that bounces back to the Common Core standard, which is applying your knowledge straight from the text.
Yeah.
Which bounces back to the race. And I don't know about the teaching and reading.
So as you said before, I feel like they all build on themselves, and I feel like you kind of can't have one without the other a little bit, and you have to, like you said, everything has to be like intentional. So like, let me purposely select this text so I can hit my Common Core standards while I'm teaching them reading.
Yeah. I agree. You did learn something about reading. I'm going to push you, Lampkins. What did you learn from this? Anything that you took away from this video?
Common language. The students were definitely pushed to do some higher order thinking
Through the common
language, yeah. Through the common language, and as Pettis just said, she was purposeful in her text that she chose.
Yeah, I wish I could like sit down and talk with her. Like, why did you choose this? What was
Yeah.
your thought process? Like all of that. What do we currently do for text selection, and how does just to think about this preparation? Like when we choose our text, is there any rhyme or reason that any of us are? Well, you're given the text, so it doesn't apply to you. You're not teaching a text. So when we choose our guided reading books, do we have a purpose?
I actually will look at the title first and go, does that sound interesting? And once I look at the title, I actually read through the book and think, what questions can I ask them? What can I pull? What sight words? How many sight words are in it?
Nice.
Is it more than one?
Yeah.
I know Lampkins and I have started using the TH and CH and all the
Yes.
TH sounds.
Yep.
So the books I chose this week were specific words that had like the, because a lot of the kids don't know the yet, and bigger sight words. And then I was looking for books that had more THs. And then I also found the books that I have all have specific questions around reality. So it's like they can go, so if I say, what in life do you know about this? What part of this book is the same as your own reality at home? They can actually take that and go, oh, well, I know at home one of the books is called I Play. At home, I play with my sister all the time. Another one's called Dr. Jen. So they know they go to the doctor, so they can apply this book to their own life. So like, those are the three aspects. Whatever we're teaching in skills, and whatever the sight words are that we're going over for their reading, for their spelling test, and then what can they apply in their own life from the book.
Well, I was talking to Goosey today because I was trying to figure out, Miss Ayala creates the sight word list for my group, but then I was thinking, like, do I do a double whammy, the sight word list that she gives, and then I've started them on guided reading text, or do I do the sight words that are in the guided reading? But Goosey told me that for some reason I can't print from my computer for reading A to Z, but she said the reading A to Z and RAS are the same now, and that you can get specific texts that have specific. So I was like, oh, that's what I'm going to start doing.
Yeah.
Her and I had just talked about that today, because I'm like, okay, I'm giving them the level A text, but then do I just harp on those words for that week, or do I do a double whammy with the overall list or the reading? Because I want them to read text. They gotta start, you know.
Like Wendy though. I feel like the more you see it, the faster you're gonna get it, and the more it's just gonna be like a sight word you're supposed to do in what, 3 seconds?
Yeah.
Like, no, it's no thinking. It's just I know this word. Yeah. So if they read a book that has every single sight word, it's like you gotta eventually know that this is this and this is what it means.
Yeah.
Like,
So I think that's what I'm going to, I know that's what I'm going to start doing after talking to Goosey about that. She was like, they've merged, and so you can print the books that have the sight words in them specific. I was like, that's what I'll do. So I won't do that aspect of it. Their test will just be on those sight words that come from that guided reading text.
I think that we both could do better with choosing texts that facilitate richer discussions. I feel like we're never going to get to this level unless we're choosing texts that are intentionally complex enough to have these. Like, we don't want to be a dead horse. Like, you can't some of these books you can only ask
Mhm.
really big,
Specific,
yeah,
yeah.
and so many questions and not go deep enough. So I want to push both of us to not only choose more complex text, so maybe out of the kids' comfort ranges. Because you guys don't have text sets, I would maybe do like one above their level, and then
But we have them. She can use them. They're in a closet.
the.
We have the text sex.
Oh.
We have tech sets. Yeah.
I would say for right now, like just getting them used to the conversation.
Okay.
But
Okay.
anything that's C or below, you're not going to have actually be able to have a discussion about
Right,
like
right.
this, right? So if they're C, I would try a D, just so you can try to get that conversation started. And I definitely need to be more intentional in what I'm choosing for that same reason, and to align myself to her. And I think those two small shifts and just what book are we choosing, right? We're already taking time to clearly think about it. Like I choose based upon topic as well and skill that the book is providing. So like I'm taking time to think about it. So we're thinking. It's just we're not doing the right thinking.
Right.
Yeah. So let's just try to think like, would this book actually facilitate something like this video? If our kids knew these sentence stems, could they read this book and do this? I think that will get us chugging along the right direction. Just to, in the sake of time too, moving down to